saying? I seen a lot of dudes like Elliot Wilson, people get mad, you know what I mean, because they're going with the streamers and they're not coming to hip hop media anymore to break the news, to break the records, or anything like that. I just wanted to get your thoughts on that, like where you see hip hop media in 2025.
I mean, I think hip hop media is doing the same thing that sports media and mainstream media is doing. It's in terms of how it, in terms of how it's disseminated to consumers, right?
Mhm.
So, I guess you could say there's kind of a turning of the guard. Like streamers, they could be anybody, you know what I mean? It's like they got direct access to the consumer, so they could just go ahead and pump it out. But like nowadays, the players themselves are streaming. They got their own
Yeah.
podcast. So LeBron don't have to talk to Stephen A. Bitch, wine, whatever. LeBron got his own direct-to-consumer way to talk to people. They have their own voice through social media, through Twitter, IG Live, TikTok. And if their shit ain't popping, and they just go to the Kai Cenats and the Joe Buttons and drink champs. Like they go to the people, to the Jones that like everybody's flocking to.
It went from centralized to
Completely
decentralized.
decent. That's probably a better word to say it. I kept saying gatekeeperish, but it was more centralized. Now
No,
it's
you're right with it. And there was gatekeepers. You know what I mean? They getting
I
they
mean it
getting
was, yeah. It was. We decided what y'all read, you know what I mean? We decided information y'all got. But now it's like because of, technology and the web, like, anybody can get the word out. So
how
Yeah.
do you how are you using like Substack or Dune or Mirror XYZ? Using any of these Web3 platforms to continue to write and do your thing?
I should be. um The thing is I got so many contracts with
Mm.
different like media outlets. I haven't really needed to go that route. Like at some point, at any point, at some point I probably will do that, right? But like I remember there was a time I was gonna get a Substack, but then I looked up and like everybody had a Substack. I was like, you know what I mean? Like I didn't get in early enough. So now it's like it's very much it's pretty saturated. So you kind of, especially with the podcast. So, you know, I wish I was a pioneer like Jay Sands and I was already doing it in like '07, you know what I mean? But like because I had my hand in all these pots with traditional media, I just kind of sat back. So now that I'm independent, it's like, all right, I gotta figure out like a unique lane and a unique way to get my voice heard above all the other voices. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean,
Right. Because the thing that's I think you brought up a very key point is these are people who haven't gone to journalism school, right? They don't have the nuances of journalism down, right? They're kind of like, I got the attention, I'm trying to keep the attention, and I'm just going to kind of interview people how I see fit or interact with people I see fit. But we need more people like yourself who are seasoned, you know what I'm saying, in that space to make it, like, yo, hey, y'all, not only I see I got all the attention over there, but this is how you do it. You know what I'm saying? Based off of
I mean, you do it that way too. You do it both ways. I mean, I like, there's a lot of journalists. I mean, I'm old. I'm like 48. So there's a lot of journalists. They hate, what's going on with all these podcasters and streamers and all that. But I look at it as balance, right? You know what I mean? And I think there's a lot that, old school journalists, so to speak, like need to learn from, the streaming economy and the podcast economy.
yeah.
Um, you know,